Okay, so how you're going to section off for your roller set is you're going to do this mohawk section. So how you figure that out is by your red roller that you're going to use to start off with. You're going to take that, and that's how you'll figure out how long that subsection should be, and you're going to go back to the tip of the crown. So it should look something like this on top, and this is the front, and that's the back of it. Once you have that in place, you're going to take the side and you're going to, from the tip of the crown that you ended with the mohawk section, down to the tip of the ear where you would do a 4-section block, and do that on both sides, and you'll get 3 sections in the front. It should look like this from the front view, top view, that's how it should look like. And then the back, we're just going to clip that off with 1 clip. So this is how your section should look like before you start. Once you have that in, you're going to start in this mohawk section, so take that down. Make sure you comb it, wet it down again if you need to, because we want that hair saturated. Okay, you're going to take your roller, and to figure out how wide the section should be, you're going to take your roller to find the width, place that right there, okay, and then make your section. And this front roller is the most important roller because that's the first thing you're going to see when you do your roller set. And if there's any creases or anything like that in this roller, you're going to see that. Okay, so when you're smoothing, make sure you smooth with your fine teeth, over direct, and don't pinch with your finger and thumb. Do it with your 2 fingers like this so you get all that hair. Okay, grab your gel, put that through, and I'm still combing it through over directed because we want that on base. So then you're going to take your roller, okay, now smooth that again. Okay, you're going to take your roller. Make sure you smooth down that hair with your thumbs. Roll it, pull it, so you have that tension so it's smooth. Okay, and then you're going to take your double prong clips and you're going to clip it right underneath the roller to connect the hair. And there should be 1 clip per roller. So when you clip it, it should look something like that. Okay, and you're going to do that on this whole mohawk section, all the way back. Okay, make sure you're still over directing. Okay, and one thing that you don't want to do when you're rolling your roller is, I will show you with this section. Is when you're combing it and you're going to put it in the roller, you don't want to pinch it because that's apexing. So this right here is apexing. So if I apex and roll it, there's going to be all that hair in the middle, and we don't want that. We want the hair distributed throughout the roller like we did in the last 2 rollers. So make sure you have it wide as the roller, roll that down. in that top section, you should have 3 rollers. So it should look something like that. Okay, and then do you see how my rollers are touching? That means the sections are the length they should be, and they're not too wide. If you have your sections wider than your rollers aren't going to be touching. So, on the sides, we're still going to use the red rollers. We want to find the length that it should be. So, take your roller like we did on the top to find that section. See, I might have to take some off of that section we already had sectioned, and that's okay. So you're going to section that off. Once you get that sectioned off, just clip that to the back. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing for this when we're rolling. So section. Okay, and there should also be 3 rollers down the sides. Make sure everything that you're using is right next to you and reach. Okay, still over direct. I'll show you from the side view. Still over directing. Okay, and I still have my comb in my hand. I'm not putting that down. Okay, when you clip these side ones, just clip your clips on the hairline so it doesn't get and mixed with the ones in the back. Okay, we're going to do the same thing down the side. Still over directing. And you see how I'm not going to the very tip of the hair, to the very end of the hair when I am rolling, because we're still smoothing that over, so there's no need to go to the very end. Still make sure it's smooth. Okay, same thing. Even though we're over the ear, same thing. Over directing, still have that tension. One thing to help you guys with tension, just think of something that makes you stressed, mad. Take it out on that section and it will help you pull and it will help you keep it neat and tight. Okay, this other side is going to be the exact same as that side we just did, so we're going to have to see the length. Make sure it's the length that our roller is. Because if you have too big of a section, it's not going to fit in that roller. And we want to make sure it fits in a roller. Okay, just do the same thing that you did on the other side. Okay, still over directing, combing, grab your roller, not apexing, combing that under. You see how I comb that under? Okay, keep it tight, keep that tension. Okay, same thing like we did on the other side. Gonna keep those clips in the front hairline, just so it doesn't get mixed up with the one in the back, so it doesn't bump each other. Same thing, still keeping it tight. And I am using the regular size roller, not the half roller. I will explain that once I get to the back because they're used for a purpose. You mainly use the regular size rollers all over. Okay, my rollers are still touching. Make sure your rollers are touching. Okay, still smoothing that out. Coming under. Okay, and then one clip per roller. This is how your front and side should look. See how they're the same? My rollers are touching on the top and sides. Okay, for the back, it's a little different. So it's going to be brick layered. So if you know how bricks are layered, they're not in a row like we did the side and front. We're going to start off adding a roller. We're going to start adding a fourth roller right behind that third one. Okay, still do the same thing with the width, and the length will be the same as that roller in front. Okay, and you're still going to roll it up the same way that you did on the top and sides. Okay, and make sure your sections are straight. It's going to be difficult and look weird because you are making straight lines on a curve. So it will look funny at first. So smooth that under. And clip it. Okay, this is where our half rollers are going to come in place. So do you see this corner section right here? If I take a full size, that's going to bump those two rollers. It's too big to go there. So we are going to take our half size roller and place it there. And the half size go the same way, still going to make sure the length, the width, and the length. So we're going to place that there because that's where it's going to fit. And you only use those when it's too small of a section for your regular rollers. Okay, and it's going to be like your triangle section. Once you get that sectioned off and start combing it, it's going to be like a little triangle. You're still going to smooth it and you're still going to use that tension. It's the same as when you rolled up the regular size rollers. Okay, and then you're going to clip that in. Okay, and then you have your half size, your full, and then we have to put another half size here because the regular size roller will be too big. And they're still in line. Because this will be your first row in the back. And when you're over-direct it this way so it's almost going over that mohawk section. Okay, pin that under as well. So for our next section, we are going to put the next roller where the two rollers meet. That's how bricks are layered. So it's wherever they meet. So where our half and regular size meet, that's where the center of this roller is gonna go. So we're gonna start right there with that roller and then go on to the next roller. And you're going to do that the whole way down the head. And once you get closer to the nape of the head, it's going to get a little narrow, so you're probably not going to have as many rollers across as you do at the top of the head. And your roller may not line up right in the center of the head, the center of the roller. We try to do brick layers, but it's on a head, and not all head shapes are the same. So that's what we aim for. So you normally start out with your roller, that first roller being in the center of where the first two rollers meet. And that's what you're going to do the whole back of the head. It's a little different from the front and sides. Okay, and when you're rolling, I have my fingers in the roller and my thumbs smoothing that hair out while I'm rolling down. Now you see those two triangle sections again. So we're going to have to use our half size again, and I'm going to use my red because we're on a red row. Do not intermix colors because they're different curls, so we always use the same roller in a row. If you don't have enough red rollers, then go to blue. And you see how they're still touching, even though they're not right on top of each other, they're still touching next to each other. And that's how you know your sections are the right size and not too wide. in that. Now we're going to start right where those two meet. I always start in the center for my next row. Still directing up, and you want to roll under and not over, because if you roll over, the hair will end up with a loop, and you want it to curl under. So always keep that in mind with any tool that you are using. And because I can fit a regular size roller over here, that's what I'm going to use. The only time you use a half size is when you can't fit a regular size, so that's not a pattern or anything that you will have. And it's different for every mannequin, every person's head. Same thing on this side, I can fit a regular size roller, so that's what I will use. Okay, and I'm going to start over here with where those two meet, because if I start in the center, that will be right under this roller, and we always want to start where two rollers meet, so we're starting that new row. And you may have to go to your blue rollers because you might not have enough red for this section. Always use your fine teeth when you are combing. Always over direct as well, because we want that on base. Clip in, and then we're going to go over to this side. We're going to use our regular size roller. Now on the sides of that row, I'm going to put half size because the regular rollers were too big. So roll that under. And clip that off. And we'll do the same thing on this side. Clip that in. And for my last section, I'm going to use my blue rollers because I don't have enough red ones. So you always want to make sure when you move on to the next row and you don't have enough red rollers to switch over, because you don't want to intermix the rollers because they have different curl patterns. Get in. And then on the sides again, I need half-size rollers because there's not room for a regular size roller. Still over directing that, even though it's on that bottom section, still keeping tension. Flipping it in, making sure the hair is clipped as well. Okay, and then the last roller is also going to be a half size, so I'm going to grab my half size, put that in after I comb the section and put my gel in. Okay, and flip that under as well, and this is how your roller set should look in the back with the bricklay, and new sections are starting wherever the first two rollers met, and it will go down the head your front, your top is with the 4, that mohawk section. There's 3 rollers on each side going down, down, and I'll just do 360 of this. So this is how your roller set should look like before the comb out.